Edmund Kemper was born on December 18th, 1948, in Burbank, California. His childhood was very rough, and his parents divorced when he was very young. After his parents' divorce, Kemper moved to Montana with his mother and two sisters. Kemper had a very troubled relationship with his alcoholic mother, and she blamed him for all her problems. She even made him live in the basement in fear that he would harm his sisters in some way. This abuse caused many problems and anger for Kemper. As a child, Kemper had very dark fantasies and violent behavior. He often fantasized about killing his mother, and he played many strange games where he would cut the heads off his sisters' dolls. He even convinced his sisters to play Gas Chamber, which was a game where he would have them tie him up and he would pretend to die in pain. Besides dark games, Kemper also killed animals, in particular the family cats. He even buried one alive at 10, and then he slaughtered one with a knife at 13. Due to his troubling behavior, his mother had him live with his father and then his grandparents in North Fork, California.
After murdering his grandparents, Kemper was put in a mental hospital and was tested to have a very high IQ and paranoid schizophrenia. When in the mental ward, Kemper was shown to be a very good patient, and he was released by doctors at 21, who stated he should not be released back into society. After being released from the mental hospital, he lived in Santa Cruz with his mother. He tried to become a state trooper, but he was deemed too tall. He then worked for a highway department. Kemper also became very friendly with the local policemen in Santa Cruz, and they even gave him handcuffs, a training school badge, and a gun. Kemper even owned a car that looked very similar to a police cruiser. While riding his motorcycle, Kemper was badly injured and he received compensation due to his inability to work. With this money, Kemper bought the car and tools he would use to go on his murder spree.
Kemper's first murders occurred on August 27, 1964, when he first killed his grandmother with a rifle and then murdered his grandfather as soon as he got home so he wouldn't find out. He wanted to see what it felt like to kill his grandmother. After picking up female hitchhikers, he got urges to murder them. His first two victims were Mary Ann Pesky and Anita Luchessa, and their heads were found in the woods near Santa Cruz. Aka Koo was a 15-year-old dance student that was killed by Kemper. He buried her head in his mother's garden as a sick joke and remarked that she always wanted people to look up to her. He would go hunting after arguments with his mother. Cindy Shaw was another hitchhiker he shot and killed. He took her corpse back to his mother's house, where he dismembered her body, tossing parts into the ocean, but burying the head in his mother's backyard.
Rosalind Thorpe and Alice Liu were two university students that were shot in the head by Kemper in Santa Cruz. He then decapitated their dead bodies, as well as dismembering them. Carnell Strandberg, his mother, was one of his last two victims. Having been in a heated argument beforehand, Kemper waited for her to fall asleep, and then he attacked, hitting her in the head with a hammer, then slitting her throat. Then he cut off her head and hands, and also took out her larynx to put down the garbage disposal. He also used her head as a dartboard. Soon after he murdered his mother, he invited over her close friend Sally Hyatt. When she arrived, Kemper strangled her and then hid her body in his mother's closet. He engaged in sexual and necrophilial acts against all his victims, and they were very disgusting, and he would even chop off the heads of his victims and then engage in oral sexual activities with them. After killing his mother and Sally Hyatt, Kemper then turned himself in to authorities.